Yeah, we turned it into an office. Oh,
She'll call you, but she doesn't. But she doesn't do that, so.
I'm just gonna be like, Marco.
Call to order the town council meeting for Thursday, March 26th, 26. Now would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Bailey? Here. Councilmember Ross?
Here.
Councilmember Wandler?
Here.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
And Mayor Cruz.
Here. Would you please join me for the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This time I'll call for public comment on anything that's not on the agenda under the jurisdiction of the town council. Okay, it's time for public comment. If you would please, next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. We have 5 sections of the minutes to approve. And correct me if I'm wrong, Councilmember Bailey, was it the first one that we needed to clarify?
Yes, and Janelle did clarify for me, it was just in a different location because we moved an item ahead of others that night, so everything is where it's supposed to be and appropriate, in my opinion.
Councilmember Smith?
I was going to make a move that we take them all as one block and vote for them all at once and move this along.
So we have a motion on the table to approve all 5 set of minutes at one time. Is there a second? Councilmember Ross.
I'll second.
Okay, so the motion on the table is to approve all 5 sets of minutes as one item. Is there any question and answer from council? Public comment? George, please call the vote.
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of the biweekly claims. Okay, claims been presented to you. Is there any question and answer from the council regarding the claims? If there are, please be recognized and may direct them directly to the treasurer. Question? Okay, any comment? Public comment? No public comment? Please have a motion. Councilmember Smith.
I move that we approve bi-weekly claims number 202.6 through 20291.
Okay, there's a first on the floor to approve claims 20268 to 20291. Is there a second? Councilmember Wander. Okay, motion on the floor to approve the claims for 20268 to 20291. Any further council discussion? Hearing none, Janelle, please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the table is discussion decision resolution number 415A, a resolution amending resolution 415 to make the land donation to the town of Stevensville via Ravalli County Resolution 3600, a permanent park for the Stevensville Park. Resolution is in the packet, and I want to point out a couple of things here. One, this adoption of this piece of property into the park is not a commitment to go out and do any physical work other than clean up the property. We need to clean the property because it's dirty. We've got trash on the property. Ultimately, the long-term goal would be to improve the property with park benches and things like that. But that is not the purpose of this resolution. This resolution is strictly to adopt that part of the property into the Stevensville River Park. I'll be with you in a second, Councilman.
Oh, we can't ask the question until we make the motion.
Okay, there are some concerns on the property. The treasurer discussed some issues with MMIA today. I'll bring them forward. That way you'll have them right in front. Okay, deed restrictions. There are no deed restrictions. Property came from the county, no deed restrictions. Setbacks. Are there required setbacks from the river for placing benches and tables? Well, we're not discussing placing benches and tables at the river tonight. We're discussing adoption of the property into the park boundary. State involvement. Would the state need to approve or be involved in placing benches or tables? We're not discussing that tonight. If we need to do that, we will bring those forward via separate action. Montana Department of Transportation considerations. Are there any restrictions related to access right-of-way issues involving Montana Department of Transportation? I don't think so, because there's a road right there. Okay, there is a road on the north side of the river, on the side of the river, goes right past the piece of property, and people use that state property already. We are not supplying parking, we're not supplying a road to the property. We just want to adopt the property into the park at this time. Is parking available? You can park on state property if you want to. We're not supplying parking at this time. Would DNRC or Fish and Wildlife need to be consulted or involved for what we're doing, adopting the piece of property into the park? No. Flood zone. Is the property located in the flood zone? No, it's above the flood zone. Part of the property is underwater already. Okay, if you look at the land, okay, you got a piece of property, then it slopes off, goes into the river, and that piece of property runs about halfway into the river. If you go out there and look where the sandbar is, that's where our property is basically located. So Gina has done a good job going through MMIA and talking about this sort of stuff. But for our purposes tonight, we just want to adopt the piece of property into the Stevensville River Park. Later on, if we want to do improvements, those things would come back before council. And to follow this up is why I brought this forward. I was the mayor in 2017 that accepted this piece of property. And I feel that I have some obligations. And I think the town does too. So, regarding Resolution 415, reference Montana Code 72203, duties of the executive. The executive shall, 1, enforce laws, ordinances, and resolutions. Section 2-83 of the Town of Stevensville Code, a resolution is a statement of town policy and may be adopted at a single meeting of the town council. Resolutions shall be approved by the mayor or the person acting in the mayor's stead and shall be numbered sequentially and filed by the town clerk in a resolution book to facilitate future access per 754201 Montana Code. Resolution 415 establishes a policy where we adopted the property. 2, duties required by law, ordinance, or resolution. The mayor is trying to implement Resolution 415. Resolution 415 adopted the piece of property. And I'll read that to you real quick here. Resolution 415. Whereas on August 3rd, 2017, and pursuant to Montana Code 78102, the Ravalli County Commissioners approved Resolution 3600, and whereas Resolution 3600 approved the deed of park land described as a tract of land located in and being a portion of the southeast 1/4 section 22T Township 9 North, R20 West, also being a portion of River Park Commercial Village, being more particularly described as the park in said River Park Commercial Village, accepting that the parcel described in document 545232 containing 1.52 acres more or less to the town of Stevensville for the purpose of the use as a park or recreational ground and to allow access to the Bitterroot River. Whereas Montana Code 78103-2 authorizes a town to accept a donation of real property to the town and to improve upon, and whereas the town finds it is in the best interest to accept this property as parkland and river access land and to take such necessary steps to create river access. Now therefore be it resolved that the town council, of the town of Stevensville, find acceptance of the donation as described above and as depicted in attachment A in the best interest of the town, and hereby accept the donation in accordance with the restrictions contained in resolution 3600 attached as attachment B. Part of that resolution said that if nothing is done within 5 years, it can revert back to the county. They don't want it. So we're gonna keep it. Okay. Duties of the executive. 3, administer the affairs of local government. The mayor is trying to administer the affairs of local government by obeying 72203(1). 4, carry out policies established by the commission. The mayor is trying to carry out policy established via resolution 415. 5, recommend measures to the commission. The mayor is making a formal recommendation to the town council regarding the use and maintenance of property belonging to the town of Stevensville. On August 14, 2017, the town council of the town of Stevensville passed resolution 415 accepting the donation of a small tract of land to be used as park or recreational ground and to allow access to the Bitterroot River. The town council found it to be the best interest of the town to accept the property as parkland and river access land and to take such necessary steps to create river access. The property is regularly used by local citizens who go there for coffee, eat their lunches, and often fish from the bank. The property is no more of a hazard than the northwestern footpath of Stevensville River Park, which has had its bank eroded and fallen away, making it somewhat perilous to travel the footpath. Resolution 415A was written and presented to follow up on the council's resolution to incorporate the land donation into and as part of the Stevensville River Park. The property is safe and has been in use since the donation for almost 9 years with no incidents, but has fallen into a state of non-maintenance as the town has neglected this gift to the people. In 2017, it was intended to be incorporated into the park as per paragraph 4 of resolution 415. In order to see that it is properly maintained for the public, the mayor feels that it is necessary to designate it as part of the Stevensville River Park and make very inexpensive improvements on the property so that citizens of our community may use the property safely and comfortably. I did indeed ask Commissioner Chilcott if the county wanted the property back, and there was a negative response. The town of Stevensville needs to honor its word to the citizens of the town and county by doing the right thing, which is to incorporate the property into the Stevensville River Park, maintain the property, and make it available to all citizens for use as a recreational gift. Therefore, I encourage the council to adopt resolution 415A in order to carry out the original intent of the county gift and acceptance by the town council in 2017. With all due respect, Jim Cruz, Mayor of Town of Stevensville. In addition to that, by making it part of the Stevensville River Park, the land cannot be sold or traded without public consent. So, that's my presentation to the council regarding 415A. Councilmember Smith.
I move to adopt resolution 415A, a resolution amending resolution number 415 to make the land donation of the town of Stevensville via Ravalli County Resolution 3600 a permanent part of the Stevensville River Park.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to approve resolution 415A, a resolution amending resolution 415 to make the land donation to the town of Stevensville via Valley County Resolution 3600 a permanent part of the Stevensville River Park. Is there a second?
I have a second.
Councilmember Baker has a second on the floor.
I have a question as well, if I may. So you mentioned that we need to honor our agreement to maintain the property as well. So what is going to go into that initial maintenance as soon as we obtain the property?
It might not happen tomorrow or the next day, but our goal is to go out there and clean up all the trash on the property. Because there's flotsam on the property, there's people that throw garbage and plastic containers out there and buckets and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the primary emphasis right now, is just go clean it up. let's get rid of the trash and make it look like it belongs to Stevensville. Okay. Later on, as time and money allows, we can start cutting the weeds down there and just making the property a little more presentable.
Okay. If there were to be any benches placed or any railing or anything like that, that would all come through council, or would that just go through the town?
That will come back to the council.
It will.
I give you my word on that, because it will cost a little bit of money, not much. I've actually checked into some of our used benches, and if we have some, I've actually volunteered to refurbish them myself, okay, out of my own pocket. That's how much I believe in this. Okay, this can be a nice little piece of property where people can go sit. Like I said, we're not just gonna jump in and do it. There are possibly permits that we have to get. When in 2017, we created the Stevensville River Park Fishing Access Site, I had to get a floodplain permit to be able to go do some of that work down there. We're gonna be above the floodplain, so I'm not sure if we're gonna have to do that or not. But that will be something the mayor's office will pursue if it happens. And also, we will coordinate with our insurance to make sure that we're covered. The property is covered by our general liability policy. Am I correct, Gina?
The property itself is covered under the general liability. But as I stated in the email, there's a difference between the park and a recreational status, park status, I think. And what that does is, so recreational use statute. So right now it's being used as a recreational statute. And where people can go and they can enjoy the park, but if they get hurt, we're not, they can file a claim, but depending on the outcome of that investigation, we're more protected under the recreational statute. But if we designate it as a park, and then we start doing things, then that recreational use puts the town at more risk, because we're inviting people to come. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that would change the insurance on that. But just anything that the town of Stevensville has, as far as property goes without structures, is covered under the general liability.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if I may, could we label it as recreational rather than park? Or are we set on it being part of the park? What really would be the benefit of park over?
Well, the benefit would be that it can't be sold.
Okay. So if we incorporate it into the town as recreational land, it's still public land, right? And it stops coming through the public before it is sold, or no?
I don't see that would gain us anything.
Okay.
I don't. Councilman Smith?
I was just thinking that this is just an extension of what we already have. So,
Who in here has never walked the river park?
Has never, or
Has never gone down and walked the river
always
park?
ever,
Who, I'll address this to the public. Who in the public has never walked the Stevensville River Park?
never or ever.
Never. Who has walked it in the past year? Okay, so have I. And you go down along the west side of that park, along the river, and you get to the point where the trail is dropped off into the water. As a matter of fact, one of our benches has been moved from the upper part all the way down to the river. Okay, it's all the way down to the river. We have in our river park, we have, I think it's a half a dozen park benches down there and picnic tables. As a matter of fact, somebody's cut a new trail right through the middle of the river park and put a new bench down there. And somebody's been going down and putting pea gravel on the east trail, which I don't particularly mind, but the town should, be cognizant that those things are going on. So to be honest with you, I don't see any difference between the west bank of the river and the east bank of the river, except there's a river in the way. We're not gonna go out there right away and put benches in or make any other improvements than to just clean up the park. That's the goal right now, but if we keep it as part of the park, as part of the River Park property. Can't be sold. We declared that in 2017, we went and did extensive research and declared the Stevensville River Park as a park by resolution. So it can't be sold. And if we incorporate this piece of property into it, it can't be sold. And I don't know about you, if somebody gives me a piece of property, I don't think I'm gonna give it away. I'm gonna try to take care of it. And we've already been negligent on this for 40 years. Let's don't continue down that road. Let's take care of this piece of property. That's my opinion.
And my question was answered by Gina, so I'm all right there.
Any more questions from the council?
How much impact will it have as far as the garbage is concerned? Will we put a garbage?
We're not gonna put a garbage can over there. We'll just go over there occasionally and pick up the trash. Okay, I know that if we put a garbage can over there, and Gina's made it very clear that we're gonna have to pay to recover the trash. We're not. We're not gonna do any improvements on that property right away. Not until we go through and do a full evaluation of the impact of what we plan to do. But my primary emphasis tonight was to get that piece of river property as part of the river park. Public comment? This is Miss Brown, how are you tonight? By the way, what's for supper?
So, Cindy Brown, I don't have to give my address, I learned that at convention, so everybody can look it up on the internet anyways, so. So this did come in front of the council before, it was a 2-2, under Mayor Gibson as a safety problem. Is this more of a safety problem than the issue at the skate park or down at the splash pad? To me, it's not, because you got kids crashing and burning down there all the time. So, okay. You might want to review the prior vote and be careful what you hear from any former members, which I don't see any former members here tonight. Do we know what path the river might take? No, we don't. We don't know which way the river is going to go.
Yeah.
There is a few people here tonight who remember the change in the river at Bass Creek Grade several years ago. I know Karen and Don were here. I don't know anybody else. Me, myself was here and watched that river change its course. That was the first river course change I have witnessed in my life. And that was several years ago. There is no deed restrictions because it came from the county by a resolution. Does your park board feel that is a good piece of property to keep? The park board did approve this before as an acquisition. Does the park board see this might be a piece to improve? Probably. I can't speak for the park board, but yes, maybe so. So really the only piece of advice I can give the council tonight is what I received from a former town council member who is now 92 years old. Yes, it is my father. And that advice to me was, be careful on giving any property away because the town does not have money to purchase any property back and be able to get that back. Think about the future, and is this something that could enhance the town? I feel that yes, it could. Have you looked at the piece of property on the south side of the bridge? How many of you go by it every day? There's a fence up there. There's a guy who pulled his trailer in. He's cut off the public access. How did he receive that property? How many of you know that?
I don't know.
He received it by a tax deed. many, many, many years ago. So is it beneficial for the town to keep this little tract? It might not be very big. It's small in size. But does it keep the town with access on that side of the river? Yes, it does. So that's about all I have to say tonight. I want to thank everybody for their time and dedication to be on the council. As I well know, is a very thankless job. So that's all I have to say, but be very careful on what you do, because prior councils evidently have a vision for this piece of property. And it does give the town access to that side of the property. And remember, on the other side of the bridge, that guy's cut off the public access. Thank you for your time tonight. Everybody have a great night. I'm going home to cook dinner.
Thank you, Cindy. Any other public comment? Gina?
I have a silly question because I just don't know, but the property was deeded to the town. So we already have that property. So basically what we're saying is we just want to designate it as a park, is that right?
We need to follow through with what the deed said, or the dedication of the property to the town said, that we would use it for parkland and for river access and recreational purposes.
So we're already doing that, like, because it's considered recreational right now. So that part is being met. So I guess my question, I just don't know, is it like we're trying to say that's gonna be the river part, like we have Lewis and Clark? I guess I don't understand.
Okay, we have a 27 acre park.
Mhm. Yes.
When you turn and go out to into the road, we have a 27 acre park. That is River Park, Stevensville River Park.
Okay.
It was actually dedicated, I believe, in 1994 by the governor.
Mhm.
We found that. And in 2017, the town council, we made a resolution to make sure that it is known as the Stevensville River Park, because there was a move to try to sell off a piece of that property. And we don't want to do that. Actually, it was a trade. They wanted to trade 7 acres of our river park for the 3.5 fishing access site. Well, when the owner of that property cut access to the river off, we as a town took it upon ourselves and created the Stevensville River Park Fishing Access Site by cutting a road through the park all the way to the river, which is that sandy area where all the flotsam has piled up. Hopefully the river's high enough to get rid of it. We did that in 1 day. Fish, Wildlife and Park said it'll never last. You know what? It's been 9 years and it's still there. It's not going anywhere. But at the same time, the county thought that we could use that piece of property across the river to create a fishing access site on that side of the river, because we had people dropping their boats in on the county property at that time, launching them right there on that steep bank. And then they would try to bring their boats out, and they weren't always using proper techniques to bring the boats out. And I watched a bullnose fly off the end of one of those boats on a cable and just about take a guy out. And I said, that's it, we got to do something over there. So, but I watched probably 50 launches over there. The county gave us the property because they didn't know what was going on over here with the river access site, and they just wanted to help the situation. That river usage out there is about a $42 million a year industry. So it's important. Whether or not we further develop the property, that'll actually be up to the council. But I think because we do own the property and we want to preserve that piece of property on that river, incorporating it into the river park itself protects the property. And that is what we said we would do back in 2017. And I think we need to honor our word and do it. We are only as good as our word. Nothing else counts in life. If you can't live up to your word, you're not worth anything. So that's where I stand. Any further public comment? Yes, ma'am, Sharon, how are you tonight?
I'm good, and how are you?
Good, thank you.
I just had a question regarding the quitclaim deed. Since that was signed over in 2017, does there need to be a new quitclaim deed?
No,
No, okay. That was my other question, because it sounded like it was. If it wasn't, if something didn't happen within a 5-year period, that it would revert back to the transfer.
the county had the option to take it back.
And they said no.
They don't.
Okay. All right, that was it.
This will lock it in permanently for us. Any further public comment? Any further comment from the council? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Janelle?
Councilmember Wondler,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
and Councilmember Bailey. Aye.
Hey, motion passes 4-0. Thank you very kindly, I appreciate that. And I think the people of Stevensville down the road will appreciate it too. I really do. Okay, next item on the agenda is acceptance of Montana Department of Transportation funding for tractor mowers at Stevensville Airport. Mr. Jermaine, how are you this evening?
Excellent. How are you, sir?
Great, thank you.
All right, good evening. So in your agenda packet, there's a copy of the actual official grant offer. I think we've discussed this a little bit in the past already, but this is just being presented so we can try to get formal approval for the acceptance of the grant offer and then move forward with that. Money probably not till midsummer sometime, but just because of their funding cycle, but this is just a formal step to accept it.
Any questions from the council? You may address the airport manager directly, just be recognized before you do so.
So the check is ready?
I think it's, like I said, I think it's probably about midsummer, but you know, it takes a while to print. So, yeah. But yes, $57,600. The only obligation that we have is that whatever we don't spend, we have to get back. So, but I feel like we're doing right.
And this is a very unique thing to getting a lawnmower.
It is a very unique thing to get a lawnmower. Yep. They have not funded a mower before, so this is a big deal.
And
Good.
if I understand, basically, it's been voluntarily mowed for the past few years.
That is correct. Yeah, so mowing is primarily done by volunteers, but additionally, the mowing has primarily been done with volunteer equipment as well.
Yep.
So our board chair, Craig Thomas, has brought his own equipment over and done most of the bulk of the heavy mowing for several years now. We do have that small kind of turf type mower that we use to get around the taxi lights and runway lights and in those tighter areas, but that large area, kind of that infield between the runway and taxiway and kind of the large perimeter, that's what Craig has been mowing, and that's primarily what this mower will be used for.
That's also the landing zone for the skydivers.
Landing zone for the skydivers, the Forest Service land use agreement, when they activate it, all of that has to be mowed. So, yeah. It's about 74 acres that is supposed to be mowed. We try to always maintain about 40 of those. The land use area, the Forest Service land use area is kind of one of those areas that we generally don't mow until we have to. But yes, there's approximately 74 acres that is supposed to be mowed on a regular basis.
Thank you. You've answered a $50,000 question.
57.
Okay.
Any public comment? Okay, entertain a motion?
I move that we accept the Montana Department of Transportation funding for the tractor mower for the Stevensville Airport.
Okay, got a first on the floor, is there a second? Councilmember Ross. Okay, the motion on the floor to accept the Montana Department of Transportation funding for tractor mower for the Stevensville Airport. Is there any further council discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call for the vote.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Wondler,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
and Councilmember Bailey.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is resolution 585, a resolution to sell town-owned property to a purchaser. We, as you know, we put some, equipment up on the board for bid. Couple of the items didn't sell. One's a Dodge truck, 98 Dodge Ram truck, and 96 GMC pickup truck. They didn't sell, but we had a private individual offer us $500 a piece for the trucks, and I recommend that we sell the trucks. Any questions from the council? Any public comment? Okay, can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion, that we approve resolution 585, a resolution to sell town-owned property to purchaser.
Okay, have first on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Councilmember Wander seconds the motion. Motion on the floor is to approve resolution number 585, a resolution to sell town-owned property to the purchaser, a purchaser. There's no further council discussion. Janelle, please call for the vote.
Councilmember Wondler,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
and Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item on the decision is to approve Greg Overstreet for temporary engagement to support Berta Farms litigation. As you know, our former counselor, Mr. Overstreet, has been heavily involved in several pieces of litigation, one of which is the Berta Farms litigation. And it would probably cost us more money to try and get our current town attorney up to speed, because he has all the background information, all the experience with the property. So the conclusion between the town attorney, myself, and Mr. Overstreet is that we should engage Mr. Overstreet on a temporary basis to help finish out this litigation. Councilmember Bailey.
Will this engagement be at the same rates as his prior agreement?
I think it's 165 an hour instead of 150. Is what it said.
The current one will be 165, the
Yes.
proposed one anyway?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a time limit on that agreement, or is that
No, it's
until? resolved.
until litigation is complete.
Okay.
And we only get charged for the time he actually spends on
Sure.
the project. Councilmember Wander.
To avoid sounding, I don't understand what Alberta's farm litigation is.
Okay, there's a lawsuit of the property at 3rd Street and Park. You know, across, okay, that piece of property right there, and that's what this litigation is about. Getting the property cleaned up. Any other council comments?
Can I ask a question of
Yes,
Jim?
yes.
Do you see any major impact as far as finances to the town doing this?
The financial impacts of Mr. Overstreet and, Ms. Langley working on this. No, I don't. I mean, I think for her to get caught up on everything for the Bird Farms, it's a lot, because there's been a lot that has gone on, and it's been going on for several years. And Greg has been heavily involved, so I think, I would recommend that we continue on with that one, because I think with Christine dealing with all of the other things, I think it would just cost us a lot more for her to, you know, just leave with that. So I would definitely recommend it.
Thank you.
Any further council question? Public comment? Okay, could I have a motion, please?
I move to approve Greg Overstreet for temporary employment to support the Berta farm litigation.
Okay, so if I understand this correctly, the motion is to approve Greg Overstreet for temporary engagement to support Berta Farm litigation.
Correct.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Smith seconds. Is there any further council discussion? Okay, call for the vote, Janelle?
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
and Councilmember Wander.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is approved task order number 5 between the town of Stevensville and Morris and Merrily. Tyler, how are you this evening?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm Tyler Reed with Morris O'Reilly, here to present task order number 5 for Stevensville Airport. This is for construction management services for the taxi lane rehab, Alpha Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. So those are the oldest taxi lanes that are out there. We've just bid the project. And so now our services will include project management, grant administrative services, construction management services, so that includes full-time inspection out there. The project's 28 days, or 28 calendar days, so 21 working days. And so full-time inspection, we'll have a task order with a geotechnical sub-consultant that will be doing all the testing on the asphalt, we'll be doing a survey out there. This will include also our bidding services and our closeout services for the grant. This has been budgeted with the project, so with the FAA side, the FAA will be covering 95% of the project, and then Montana Aeronautics will be covering the local match as well. So, yeah, any questions?
Council, any questions? Okay, any public comment? Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion on the floor, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move to approve task order number 5 between the town of Stevensville and Morrison. Mary. Yeah, that one.
Is there a second?
I'll second the.
Councilmember Bailey seconds. Motion on the floor is to approve task order number 5 between the town of Stevensville and Morrison, Maryland. Any further discussion by the council? Okay, hearing none. Janelle, please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
Councilmember Wander,
Aye.
and Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks.
Okay, next item on the agenda is approved service order number 8 between the town of Stevensville and Geosyntec Consultants. Geosyntec is part of our water rights project. Basically, this would give us an on-call service as we need it. It's only for $5,000. Do you have anything to say, to add to that?
Just, it all comes back to our water rights. They work alongside the town and our water rights attorney, Ross Miller.
Any questions from the council?
No, she just answered it for me.
Any public comment? Okay, can I have a motion on the floor, please?
I make a motion that we approve service order number 8 between the town of Stevensville and Geosyntec Consultants.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve service order number 8 between the town of Stevensville and Geosyntec Consultants. Is there a second? Councilmember Wander. So first and second on the floor. Any further public or council comment or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Janelle?
Councilmember Wander,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
and Councilmember Ross.
Aye.
Thank you. Hey, next item on the floor is discussion, decision, approval of updated bylaws for the Stevensville Planning and Zoning Board. Ms. Ross, how are you this evening?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good to see you.
Right back at you. Thanks for your time, everybody. Right back at you. I am here to answer any questions you may have on the proposed language in our bylaws for the Planning and Zoning Board. This is fostering, so we are able to have another member on our board that is not currently allowed to be on our board, but also to be better aligned with our Ravalli County and town jurisdictional area. And I can read it verbatim if you would like, otherwise the proposed changes are in your packet.
Councilmember Smith, you have a question? Comments? Any comments, questions for Ms. Ross? Okay. All right. Public comment? And basically what this does is we're limited to 7 people on the board right now. This allows us to expand our base. Because Stevensville, we're growing, and we need people that, within the community and outside the community to pay attention and see what's going on in the town to help us out.
Yes, please.
Okay, any public comment? Okay, get a motion on the floor, please.
I make a motion that we approve the updated bylaws for the Stevensville Planning and Zoning Board.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to approve the updated bylaws of Stevensville Planning and Zoning Board. Councilmember Smith, second. Okay, so we have a first and second on the floor for the approval of the updated bylaws of Stevensville Planning and Zoning Board. Any further council discussion? Okay, hearing none, call for vote.
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Okay, motion carries 4-0. Next item on the agenda. Get to it here. There we go. It's approval of Hannah Miller to the Planning and Zoning Board. Would you like to come to the podium? Maybe tell people a little bit about yourself?
I think you can call me Kate also. I'm known community by Kate.
Excuse me, John, would you please close that door? Thank you.
I'm assuming everyone's read my letter or have privy to my letter.
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you.
Have you all been able to see the letter that I wrote to the
Yes.
board?
Yes.
Okay. So I am raised here and currently a business owner here in town. So I spent a lot of my adult life also in Missoula, and just seeing the growth there really inspires me to want to be part of the growth here. I am concerned, but also excited about it. So.
Any questions by the council, Ms. Miller? I appreciate you stepping up, thank you. You know, the problem we have in town and outside of town is we don't have enough volunteers. And so I'm actually really pleased to see you here. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. And I don't live right in town, but pretty close. Okay.
Any comments from the public? Yes, Ms. Ross?
I also would just like to appreciate or show my gratitude for our volunteer, and we are more than happy to accommodate, and will certainly appreciate your perspective and opinion on the board. So welcome, or you're possibly welcome.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Can I have a motion?
Okay, yes.
Yes, Councilman.
I move for approval of Katana Miller to the Planning and Zoning Board.
Okay, so a motion on the floor to approve Katana Miller to the Planning and Zoning Board. Karen? Okay, a second. So we have a first and second on the floor to approve Katana Miller to be added to the Planning and Zoning Board. Any further council discussion?
Do you have a quick question? So has Kate already been approved at the Planning and Zoning Board as a member? Or, I'm just assuming that we approve the bylaws tonight, and so now we will be, it's the recommendation of the zoning board that we approve her, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, good. Just clarifying. Thank you.
So does everybody understand?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Any further comment or discussion?
I'm just glad to see a face to the paper.
Oh, thank you.
If no more discussion, now would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
And Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Thank you. Welcome to the board. You realize we don't pay you for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of special event permit for the circus. Okay, Janelle, would you please explain this one?
Not my event.
Oh, okay.
There is a representative here tonight, though. It's his event. He can do a much better job than me.
Good evening, Eli Madero, President of Stevensville Civic Club, here to answer any questions you might have in regards to this program.
So what are you actually here for tonight?
Requesting that we get the approval for getting the park to hold the circus on, dates were June 8th and 9th, but I did have dates for earlier, because obviously the circus come a little bit ahead of time, do their setup. There is a request on the permit for overnight camping. Again, this is a circus, they're traveling with it, and they have to do it. But, yeah, I'd just like to have the board's approval on getting this permit through so we can bring the circus back into town, which was a huge success to use.
Okay. Okay. Any questions from the council?
How late is it open?
Circus is gonna run two different shows. There's gonna be a show at 5, there's gonna be another show at 7:30, and they're both about an hour and a half long.
Page 3 of the application is blank as far as, rates or anything like that. Do we have an estimate of how much?
Not yet. Okay, right now, you're primarily here to get the dates approved and
Yes,
the
sir.
overnight camping approved.
Correct.
The event permit will come back again.
Okay,
Okay, so this is just preliminary approval for the dates and camp.
okay.
Oh, okay. I had the same issue.
It's a big event, okay? What do you see next one? Okay. Yeah, Creamery Picnic's gonna be big. So we're gonna have to, we're actually already looking at modifying how we do some of these. So we'll be making some changes. So right now, it's primarily the date and the overnight camping.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Councilmember Smith?
Would you have any idea of how much overnight camping, how many RVs or?
I'm not entirely sure on the number of people that are coming in with it. Again, I know we had it here 2 years ago. They come in essentially the night before they start. I mean, I think maybe in 2 days. So they'd be coming in Friday, doing their setup over Saturday, Sunday shows on Monday, Tuesday, and then they're literally gone the next day. We are providing trash cans for them to do. They're actually providing trash cans for the infield of everything. And we provide many dumpsters for them to chunk everything into. They are providing sanitary services such as outhouses and hand wash stations. And I think Chief Bo can attest, like the last time they were here, you couldn't tell there was anything that happened at the park after they were done. And it was a huge, huge success and a moneymaker for the town.
Councilmember?
Okay, I guess I'm getting at the number of employees and what have you. Does it pretty much take up that entire parking lot?
Yes,
Where there's
sir, it
no
does.
parking?
Yeah, they bring in the animals, they set it
Right,
up,
okay.
and then they keep people out there for security, but they do a good job.
All right, thank you.
Janelle?
They're not set up in the parking lot, they're set up in the south section of the park in the grass.
Oh,
Okay, great, great.
And last time that they were here, I believe it was only 2 campers or 2 people that stayed over, as everyone else shows up later on to help complete it. So there were not very many people that were there camping.
Great, all right, thank you.
Councilmember Bailey?
I'm struggling, where are the dates of the event on the application? I didn't see them listed on page 1, so I just wanted to make sure for the minutes and for our consideration, the exact dates are.
Yeah, I know when I came in to fill out we got the paperwork for the permits, I think you guys have just gone over and revised that. And I still think there's some things that need to be
Okay,
cleaned up and cleared up there.
yeah,
There are.
And the same thing's gonna be applied for the Creamery event.
gotcha. So for tonight's approval, the dates, they are, you said June,
The event dates, let me bring it, and I'm probably apologize, not having it up
oh,
here.
that's all right.
Okay, the actual event dates for the circus, the shows are the 8th and 9th. I requested for Friday, the 5th through the 10th.
Okay, June 5th through the 10th.
Yes, that's in case they come in a little early, they can get their setup done, and then the 10th, basically that's their plan. Like I said, my understanding is the last time they were here, they were gone early the next day.
Okay. Thank you.
excuse me. Any further questions from the council? Comments from the public? Okay, could I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve the special event permit for the circus on June 5th through the 10th of 2026.
And this is a preliminary approval.
Yes.
Second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Ross. So motion on the floor to approve the special event permit for the circus, dates June 5th through the 10th, and to approve camp. Okay, the permit will come back later for full approval. Any further discussion by the council? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
and Councilmember Wellman.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Yeah, we're still learning on a new form. We've got some changes.
Trust me, Mark, there's a lot about this I'm learning. This is my first year as president, so.
Okay, and he's staying up there because the next item on the agenda, discussion decision, approval of special event permit for the Creamery Picnic. Hey, go ahead.
Thank you. Again, this is a request for the special event for the Creamery Picnic, which happens, it's going to take place on, the current request is from the 6th through the 9th. The actual event dates are the 7th through the 8th. It's going to be for the entirety of Lewis and Clark Park. We're going to have food trucks, we have our beer tents. At the same time, we're also going to have the parades coming through downtown, so there will be road closures. We do have our existing maps in place. We will be getting alcohol permits requested. There is going to be electricity usage. Pretty much anything you can think of, we're going to take advantage of it.
Councilmember Bailey.
The dates for this one are,
The actual event dates
Yes.
are August 7th and 8th. We try to coincide with the actual first Friday for the town.
okay,
And the permit date is the 6th through the 10th, or 6th through the 9th, sorry.
6th through the 9th. Thank you.
Any other questions by the council? Public comment? Okay, can I get a motion on the floor, please?
I move that we approve the special event permit for the Creamery Picnic.
Okay, is there a second? Councilmember Smith, so there's a motion on the floor and a second to approve special event permit for Creamery Picnic. Any further council discussion?
I did want to provide some transparency on the special event permit application that we had tabled in early February, and just make sure that that was very transparent with you and
Okay. Items like applications for special event and these permits, they are office-generated forms. And we take and we generate those forms to make sure that we're in compliance with our ordinance. So, so we had originally brought this before council, and it became pretty much of a nightmare trying to get everything worked out. So the clerk and I discussed this, and we went back to the old way of doing business where we would take and generate this form on the fly to make sure that we cover all the requirements. And we're still doing that. We're still learning a few things. We learned a few things because of Creamery Picnic and the circus. So we'll be modifying the form as we go. We also had a discussion today with the chief of the fire department because we don't have a comment block where they can make special recommendations or anything like that. So we're going to go back and we're going to add those things in. Ultimately, when we get the form finally approved, it should function well. We may end up with two types of forms because we have special events and we have community events, which are probably a little larger than special events. So we may end up with two types of forms. And it'll allow us to do things like manage our resources, like our police department, our fire department, our EMS people, that sort of stuff. So just, that's what Councilmember Bailey is referring to. We had tabled this and we were gonna bring it back, but we just realized the best way to do it is to keep it in the office until we get it done. It's not the only form that we use. We have a business license application, we have a building permit, and we find errors in those, so we correct them on the spot with an additional form, and ultimately we will have a master form created, but hopefully with all the bugs taken out. That make sense?
Indeed.
Councilmember Ross?
So with approving on this form, and then if in 3 months we change the form, do we honor this form then?
Yes, yes, we will. Yes, ma'am.
So a reminder, what you're doing tonight for Creamery Picnic is accepting the use of Lewis and Clark Park and the dates as this being an event, so that then Eli can take the acceptance of this tonight back to MDT for his road closures, for his alcohol permit, and then you'll see this come back. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, depending on how long it takes them to get everything back. And then you guys will see traffic plans will come with that, and the approval from the police department for his alcohol permit. And also then how much of the other items he'll be using, electricity, street closures, placements of signage, anything like that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate the clarification.
You're welcome.
Any further council comments? Yeah, I have called for public comment, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we have a motion on the floor, and a second, okay. No further council discussion? So I'll call for the vote.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wondler?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
And Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, board reports. Board reports. Board reports. Okay. Town council comments. Okay. Next item on the agenda is executive report. I did not file a official executive report because, as some of you are aware, I had a little medical incident, and I'll tell you about it right now. I had a stroke. I actually had two. Had one Wednesday night, had one Thursday morning. The fortunate thing is I'm somewhat intelligent, not always, but I started looking for the symptoms of a stroke. And on the second one, I realized I was actually having one. So I immediately took an aspirin, which is a very good preventive measure. I called my wife, and I also called the triage line with the VA and described what was going on, and they told me, get to the hospital now. So we did. Got to the hospital, I had a CAT scan. They said, well, you're going to Missoula right now. And they wheeled me straight from the CAT scan right into an ambulance, and off I went to Missoula. Got to Missoula, my wife showed up there. Within about an hour of being in the hospital in Missoula, I was in surgery. Spent about four hours in surgery, and came through it okay, no permanent damage. My voice is a little different because when they cut you, there are two nerves, one's for the tongue and one's for the voice box. And they get really close to them, and it changes your voice a little bit. It's not supposed to be permanent. But the only thing permanent is my Sicilian necklace. I got a nice little scar from under my ear all the way down to my chest. They cleaned everything out. It was a blood clot and obstruction. The 20th of April, I go back to my surgeon, and we're going to do a series of ultrasounds, and we will discuss what happens after that. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully everything will work out fine. Okay, I'm following the doctor's orders. I'm kind of taking it easy. That's why you don't see me in the office as much as I had been, because one of the things you're supposed to do is kind of de-stress. It's kind of hard to do at my house, but I'm working on it. And I'm trying not to take, things too hard. Just do what I need to do and get along. So I hope you'll be patient with me. until at least after the April visit, so I can find out what's really gonna happen. In the meantime, I will continue to do the best job I can. If I don't feel like it's gonna be a good idea for me to come in, I may defer to the council president to take over in my stead. We have a resolution coming up, which we should have had in place. We used to have something like this, but we have a resolution coming up, thanks to Gina and Janelle, working hard to get this done, and our town attorney, which will make sure that we have continuity of government in case something happens to the mayor. Because if something happens to me, I'm incapacitated or unable to fill my job, the council president steps up to be the mayor until I can return, or if I can't return, until a new mayor is appointed. So we're taking that precaution. It's also a precaution to make sure that we have the appropriate signers annotated at the bank to sign checks for the town. Okay, right now, it's supposed to be the mayor and the finance officer. Okay, we're going to make the provisions, the legal provision, to make sure it's the mayor, and if need to be, the council president, and the finance officer, and the assistant finance officer if she's not available. That will ensure we have continuity of government. And this is authorized pretty much in state law. So our attorneys looked at it. We would have had that resolution on the agenda tonight, but we had some changes that we had to make, and Janelle and I felt it was just too much to deal with tonight, so we will have it on the next council meeting. So, if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them. Councilmember Smith?
Just for the record, who is the assistant officer?
That is Robert Underwood. Okay. Any other? Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to come, and appreciate you understanding this medical event. It was serious, really, really serious. A lot more so than I thought. So, thank you. I may have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad things are starting to.
Pronounce it. Spell my name right.
Yes, yes.
Oh, no.